I would like to turn now to the issue of sanitation. In the past, very little attention has been paid to sanitation. Today, sanitation is receiving renewed focus. This began in 2002 at the World Summit on Sustainable Development in Johannesburg, when the issue of sanitation received global recognition for the first time in history, with the inclusion of a specific target to halve by 2015 the proportion of people without basic sanitation. And as you know, this complemented the Millennium Development Goal to reduce by half the proportion of people who are unable to access or afford safe drinking water. It also served to highlight the role of sanitation in improving human health and in reducing infant and child mortality. The sanitation target contained in the Johannesburg Plan of Implementation reflects the international community to address sanitation as a development priority, sustainable development, and poverty reduction strategies. The current trends with regards to gaining access to basic sanitation show that there is indeed an urgent need for action. Only the Latin American and Caribbean countries are on track to meet the Millennium Development Goals, though East Asia and the Pacific are moving close to the targeted yearly access figures. Among the regions, again, Sub-Saharan Africa is lagging far behind and would need to quadruple the number of people currently gaining access to sanitation to meet internationally agreed targets, from the current 7 million to 28 million people per year. This, of course, will require substantial support, financial and otherwise, by external partners, as well as strong political commitment by governments to infrastructure development and rehabilitation. South Asia also lags behind on sanitation and would need to increase the current rate of those gaining access by 72% per year to meet the target. Additionally, global population growth is cancelling out many of the gains that have already been made when it comes to the sanitation area. Although more than 1 billion people gained access to sanitation between 1992 and 2002, the population without coverage declined only by 100 million. So despite significant effort by governments, organizations, and other stakeholders, 41% of the global population is still lacking access to basic sanitation facilities. An estimated 42,000 lives are lost each week to diseases associated with poor water and inadequate sanitation. Given the linkages among water, sanitation, and hygiene and health, and the positive impact to accessing sanitation, the impact on poverty reduction, privacy, dignity, security, and education, achieving the MDG would avert 47,000 deaths and result in an extra 320 million productive working days every year in the world. From now until 2015, greater efforts must be made to reach the poor and those living in rural areas whose deprivation is hidden behind national averages, particularly women, who are most directly affected in matters of family and hygiene. They are the ones who spend a great deal of time caring for children and other family members who fall ill from a lack of safe sanitation and hygiene. These indirect costs associated with the lack to safe water and sanitation is a main economic factor for women. Time spent on fetching water could be used productively for income generation. Again, women are excluded in decision-making, just like water, regarding sanitation facilities they need or receive. So, a focus on gender is also of particular importance, like I said before, for school enrollment of little girls. In addition to being burdened by the fact that they have to fetch water, the lack of appropriate separate latrines for girls often prevents them from attending school. Often the availability of usable, clean separate latrines in schools enable girls to get an education, particularly after they reach puberty, by providing privacy and dignity. Equally important are the design and the location of latrines close to the home to reduce violence against women and girls, which may occur when they have to relieve themselves in the open after nightfall. So, in December 2006, the United Nations General Assembly, concerned by the slow and insufficient progress in providing access to basic sanitation services, decided to take steps to focus attention and action on this important issue by declaring 2008 the International Year of Sanitation. Boy, that was a very, very welcome development. The objectives of the International Year of Sanitation especially emphasized the role of women and the fact that gender considerations are at the heart of safeguarding public health and private dignity through proper provision of sanitation and hygiene.